So Smash Ultimate is out now and it's already proving to be one of Nintendo's fastest selling games yet. This means we're going to have a rapidly expanding user base and many more people interested in competitive play. I'd be willing to bet that many people watching right now haven't yet attended a tournament and are interested in doing so. That being said, some of you potential players might also be put off from tournament sets and not sure on the process. Whenever I play a newcomer in a tournament set or against someone that doesn't seem to understand the rules, I always make sure to try and explain it to them to help them prepare for future sets, and I want to do the same for all of you. And with that, let's go over how to play a tournament set in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Before we learn how to play a tournament set though, it's important to be able to find events and collaborate with other Smash fans, and the perfect way to do that is with Amino. Amino is an application for both Android and iOS where you can join a number of different communities to find fans of topics that you enjoy. I'm a part of the Smash Amino and love to watch videos by other content creators I find there, make polls to gauge community interest on a variety of topics, and much more. The app is free to download and I have a quick and convenient link in the description and comments below. Be sure to follow me on there and we can further discuss your thoughts on this video when you're done. I'd love to know if this video helped you out, or if you have any other further questions about playing a tournament set in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I've been attending events for over 10 years and I'm here to help share my knowledge with all of you. Back to playing a tournament set. There exist 3 main phases in a tournament set: the opening phase, the game phase, and the counterpick phase. Let's go over the opening phase. This phase is all about figuring out how the first game will be played, as in what characters and stage will be used. When watching a tournament set, you'll usually see competitors talking with each other and checking their phones, and that's exactly what is happening here. In Smash Ultimate, you pick a stage followed by your characters. Despite this, the first game in a tournament set goes with deciding the characters and then deciding the stage. This is so each player can know the matchup they are going into before deciding which stage to play on. While on the stage select screen, players will tell each other what character they are using. If you are worried of your opponent secretly trying to pick a character that counters yours, it's appropriate to call for what's called a double blind pick. This means that players have to pick a character without any knowledge of their opponent's character. In a sense, they are blind to their opponent's pick. The most efficient way to do this is for the player who wishes to do a double blind pick to write down their character choice on their phone, then have the opponent say their character out loud, and then the first player says their character. And if there's a dispute, they can show the name they wrote down on their phone to confirm that it's the character they intended to use without knowledge of their opponent. You can also tell a friend nearby instead of writing it on your phone, or in the case of a dispute, call over a tournament organizer to help perform the double blind. Don't be afraid to call over a TO, they are here to help. Now that the characters for the first game are chosen, it's time to determine a stage. You'll notice in a tournament rule set that there will be a list of starter stages. This means that these are the stages allowed to be played on for the first game of a set. Most events will have a list of 5 or 7 starting stages, along with a striking order. You'll most often find a 5 starter list with this striking order, or a 7 starter list with this striking order. To determine who strikes first, play a quick game of like rock, paper, scissors, and the winner gets to strike first. Striking orders are designed to be as even as possible, but it's typically seen that whoever strikes first has a tiny advantage since they will end up choosing the final strike. Striking stages means removing starter stages until one final one remains, and that is the stage used for Game 1. Once you get used to it, this process becomes incredibly quick and second nature. Since we're at the start of a new Smash game though, and starter lists can differ from event to event, there are websites and apps designed to assist with this process. One popular one is a website called bans.page that you can load up on your phone. Tournament organizers can create their stage list there, and competitors can strike stages with a few taps on their phone or use the provided tablets. Now that we know the characters and stage for the first game, it's time to move on to the gameplay phase. This phase is simple and really doesn't need much of an explanation. Your goal is to win. Try your hardest to best your opponent, since winning the first game will put you at a great advantage for the remainder of the set. This is an important time to note how many games are required to win a tournament set. Most bracket sets will be played in a best-of-3 format, meaning that competitors play until one of them wins a majority of games out of 3 potential games, which means winning 2 games in a set. Later rounds in bracket will usually run best-of-5, meaning that the winner needs to accumulate 3 wins to advance. Check your tournament's rule set to see which rounds will be played in a best-of-3 or 5. At the end of this gameplay phase, if neither player has reached the set win condition, they enter the counterpick phase to prepare for the next game. Unlike the opening phase, the counterpick phase first determines the stage to be used for the next game, followed by the characters. The reason this is called the counterpick phase is because the previous loser is then set to counter their opponent by having a favored advantage moving into future games. Think of it like a race in Mario Kart. The racers further back receive better items. That being said, it's nowhere near as swingy or such a big advantage as in Mario Kart, but the concept remains the same. For this next game, now all legal stages are available, both starter and counterpick stages, not just the starter stages like before. The winner of the previous game first gets to ban a couple of stages from the next game that their opponent cannot choose from. A majority of Ultimate tournaments right now run 2 stage bans, though this may differ between events. In such case, the previous winner bans 2 stages from all available stages, and the previous loser gets to select a stage for the next game from all remaining stages. The only caveat to this rule is that for most events, the loser may not only refrain from selecting any banned stage, but also cannot select any stage they previously won on. This is sometimes called the stage clause, or DSR. While a majority of events use this, not all do, so be sure to consult the rule set to see if you are allowed to or not. After the previous losing player selects the stage for the next game, it's time to select the characters. Now with the stage in mind, the previous winner selects their character first. They may opt to stay the same character or switch to a different one. Note that in many other fighting games, the winner of a previous match is locked into their character choice, though this is never the case for Smash Bros. After the previous winner selects their character, the previous loser then selects their character. They had the advantage of selecting their character with the knowledge of both the stage and their opponent's character first. Now that the stage and characters are chosen for the next game, we return back to the gameplay phase. After the game is complete, if a player has reached the win condition, then the set is over and the winner moves on. If neither player has reached their win condition yet, then the set continues and goes back to the counterpick phase, repeating counterpicking and gameplay phases until a winner is decided. And that's the basics of playing a tournament set. I promise that if this seems a lot, it becomes much easier the more you do it. If you haven't played a tournament set before, I recommend you find a friend and practice. You can sit down to play an arranged best of 3 or best of 5 to prepare for both formats. It can be fun, and the counterpick phase adds an additional level of strategy that isn't seen in usual casual matches. There are additional rules that come with playing a tournament set, though I'll cover those in a future video. I want to give a huge shout out to Amino for sponsoring this video and helping provide me the ability to teach the ins and outs of tournament play to all of you. If you have any questions regarding tournament play, find me on Amino with the link below the video and let me know. I'll be there to answer any questions, and so will many other friendly people in the Smash Amino community. Stay tuned to Clash Tournaments for more competitive Super Smash Bros. Content. I typically upload at least 2 Grand Final tournament sets per week, along with a selection of other tournament content nearly every day. Subscribing will help keep you in the loop with any videos I post, and you can show your support with a simple like or comment on any of my videos. Until next time, Smash fans, thanks for watching.